Are you planning on sailing out of Port Everglades in Florida for the first time? There are some things you should know before you set sail, and in this video, we're going to spill the beans. Hello, I'm Ray,
And I'm Barbara.
and we love to go on cruises.
We want to share our experiences and our knowledge with you in hopes to inspire and educate.
So we could be a blessing to others who share our passion.
Our experience was driving from Central Florida area to the port on the same day of embarkation.
It took us about 3 hours drive, but we did make a stop at a Cuban bakery on the way down, which will include another more information about that in another video. But we took the turnpike for a majority of the way, but due to the stop at the bakery, the route did have us change over to I-95, and we jumped on the express lanes as it appeared to be a much faster and less crowded trip. Of note, this was on a Sunday, so the unfortunate part was that the GPS was telling us to get off on an exit that the express lane was blocked off from. So we ended up having to drive until the lane connected us to the rest of the interstate, which took us at least 4 exits past where we were supposed to get off. So then once we did get off, it made us turn back around. It took us past the interstate sign for the Port Everglades, and we ended up driving all around, seemingly like in circles until we just went to the main road. It took us a really long time to get back up the street to the actual port.
Yeah. And the parking itself, once we actually got in, was okay. It was a little confusing for the payment because once we pulled the ticket out, it had an automated response that said, please pay your parking before returning to your vehicle. So we had thought that that meant we needed to park and then go pay. And even signs on the garage were saying that you can make payment on floor 1 or floor 5 or something. And after we went to check, then we realized, okay, I guess we'll just deal with it when we get back. And we ended up just being able to pay on the way out. So it would have been a lot easier. We wouldn't have wasted any time if we just pulled the ticket and then went to the cruise and then paid on the way out. So that's really the way I think it's best designed to do. And for us, we went on a 4-day cruise and it was $80 total.
Yeah, well, once we parked and we went down to the terminal, it was relatively fast to get on the ship. As a matter of fact, I think when we showed up, you noticed that they had the area for Pearl.
Pearl, yeah. So they have a separate area depending on how many, how, I mean, for the Disney Cruise Line specific, we went on a Disney cruise. So it may be different, obviously, for other cruises at that port, but for us specifically, we were going on the Disney Destiny.
Yeah. On the main street, there were food options and at least a couple hotels that we saw. So we did notice there were some people walking to the port with their luggage.
Yeah, so overall, I did not enjoy going down to this port. I think it could be potentially a better experience if we maybe had gotten there earlier. I think driving the same day as embarkation and took us a few hours. We did stop. So by the time we got there, it was extremely crowded. And there were hotels very close by that you could walk from. So I think, a couple ideas, maybe if, you stay the night before in the hotel and get there early, maybe it would be better. Maybe if you didn't even drive, maybe if you took the Brightline train and got to the hotel and then walked over, or even taking the train down and maybe Ubering to the port or something, there potentially could be better options than what we experienced. The GPS was a little wonky for driving, so that really was adding to the frustration. And then the crowds it was just it was very stressful for me. I wasn't even driving and it was driving me crazy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and it was very frustrating that we were so close. I mean, we could literally see the ship.
yeah.
We were just like a couple streets away, and it took us more than half an hour just to get there because it was so crowded. And as you can imagine, most everybody that was there was probably cruise, passengers. And so, most people probably don't know where they're going. And so you had all these people, try to cutting you off. And
Yep.
and it's just, I mean, everybody's trying to get to the same place, right? And so,
Yeah.
I mean, traffic in that area is already bad enough, let alone that small little congested area that literally, I mean, it said it was like a mile away, but yet it was going to take us like 20 something minutes to get there. So anyway,
Yeah, so again, just would recommend maybe looking at alternates or maybe researching a little bit more. I mean, that was just our experience, and so you know.
So anyhow, if you have any questions about this video or any of our videos, make sure you send us put a comment down below. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, we'd appreciate it. We're trying to help grow this channel. So we will see you in the next video. God
Thanks.
bless you.